Hey, Frog Prince Runner here, and thank you for dropping by. First and foremost, this is more a drama video than anything else. So if you're looking for debunking content, oops, this is not it. Maybe look at my other contents for that. Warning, there would be many instances of some horrible words, and instances of calling people such horrible words. So if you do continue with the video, maybe use a headset. The first instance of such word would be within a minute. This one, well, couple of days ago, I published a video where I pointed out these scary tactics that is unfortunately becoming more and more commonplace. Basically calling someone a pedophile, child molester, child abuser, and such. If you do not see the danger in these tactics, or think it is not a big deal, well, have a nice day, nothing else to see here. Are you still here? Good. Well, no one can accuse me of tribalism. I would call out any and all sides. On that video, I did call out not only Daniel Prett, representing Flat Earth Group, and also a so-called exposer called Tony Starna. Out of a 17-minute video, with around 3 minutes 40 seconds showing what this kind of people are saying, with the remaining was touching on defamation law and what one can do when being defamed. Now I did say so-called. Well, what do we know about people? When they have no point whatsoever, that is when they start calling people name. Well, Tony did leave some nice comments. So did Daniel Prett. Tony, however, went on a rampage being butthurt. In his over 7-hour stream, he dedicated over 30 minutes on me. Ain't I lucky? Well, during his stream, some of his moderator did make fun of my accent. I believe one said something along the lines of Hindu voice generator. Now, I completely understand that something from a brown-skinned guy cannot possibly hold any value. Of course not. All we are good for is to ask if you want any fries with that. Well, here is a white dude saying the similar thing I did. Maybe this will make more sense and be more meaningful.
How he says it for shock value. We can disagree on anything, but going to the level of calling somebody a child sex offender just because you disagree with them is fucking deplorable.
Link to my original video would be in description if you do want to check it out. Now, if you haven't seen any of my other content, I would suggest stopping this video and just browse around my channel. That might give you an idea of what I do. Oh, that clip is from Irish Demon. I did run this through with him first for calling him a white dude to prove a point. That being said, I did mention drama, right? Well, I will play that portion from Tony's video and will comment here and there. I'm guessing at times I may want to speed it up a bit. Honestly, listening to what he has to say for 30 minutes is a torture to me. Hey, that's an idea. Maybe I can get Tony to hear himself for 30 minutes. That would teach him. Oh, by the way, I find this amusing. I did laugh out at all the insults.
All right, let's do Mr. Frogman. Hang on. Right here. Okay, the guy is called Dear Frog Prince. Here, let me show you. Sure. Okay, people, here's the bitch. Dear Frog Prince. Okay, he's got 111 subscribers. All right. So listen, today I wrote this here, right? He pinned it. The fucking bitch pinned it, thinking he's gonna make me look like a fool. You see?
Well, yes. Normally I hand out ropes to see what someone would do with it. In your case, you brought your own rope.
So here, let's do it correctly. Let me sort this by the newest first. Okay. So look, he pins my comment. Got you, bitch. I will be showing this on my channel tonight. Thank you for exposing yourself to the world, you evil piece of shit. With 2 laughy faces. Because you know me, people, I like them to do even more. And yes, more did happen. Hang on. Unless the bitch erased it. I might have gone into, oh, here, this one here. Ah, look at that. A true bitch doesn't know, right? Okay, look. We're going to read the comments first, people. And then after, I'll show you the video. And we'll talk about it. So, here's Sparky999. Of course, it's got to be Sparky999, right? After due consideration, no. Also, this actually Sparky is kind of agreeing with me, right? After what you see in the video, right? He writes, Sparky, after due consideration, no. Anger needs management and reacting to a contrary position, however wrong or stupid, with any kind of personal insult, weakens the presentation of our own arguments with sensible onlookers, regardless of their effect on the opposition. All right, this is a motherfucker who wants to show how smart he is. I understand what he's trying to say. He could have said it in easier terms. Such offensive rants as Daniel Pratt's are done for effect. The last thing you want to do is show that they've had an effect. Being ignored is the main thing they fear, and this one way of triggering a response. All right, so I guess I didn't fully understand the gist of it.
The gist is, you alongside with Daniel is doing your act for effect.
But I noticed Dear Frog Prince answered this. I would agree with you to some extent. If someone calls me an a-hole, that is the scenario you are mentioning. But some words are dangerous and can get someone killed at certain parts of the world. For example, if someone would accuse me of burning the Quran in Pakistan or Saudi Arabia, well, I would be lynched before anyone would bother to check the fact. That is not a hyperbole, as it has happened numerous times. Furthermore, it may even normalize that word to the effect where actual offenders might be ignored, as it would be viewed as just a rant. Either way, it is not something one should stand for.
Yep, I stand by my comment. Sounds logical. Let's see you addressing it.
It seems reasonable, right, people? No, he's a fucking idiot. Let me show you. Dear Frog Prince, Sparky answers back. Well, I agree to the extent that words are both dangerous and powerful. The thing is not fall into the same mode of response as your opponents, or you are no better than them. In your case, your knowledge, intelligence, and rationality are the best tools. So here it's just basically they're throwing each other compliments, acting like they know shit. In comes me.
To reduce the average IQ of the comments by 30? Sorry, couldn't resist it. That is some complicated math.
Dear Frog Prince, I know the power of words way more than you. I will expose you tonight, you demon worshiper. Allegedly, with a smiley face and an anger face. Here's where the bitch thinks he's gonna act smart.
Not acting.
Tony Starna, now you are learning using allegedly is a good start. Obviously, this English sentence is full of shit. That tells you Frog Prince is not as smart as he thinks he is. Let's read that again. Now you are learning using allegedly is a good start.
Well, English is not my first or second language, so I fail to see the point. Did I use the semicolon incorrectly?
My response. Oh, he added a response, people. I might answer this one live. Let me come and take out the banner, sorry. Because I didn't notice he answered back. I thought he would have noticed he's an idiot, but clearly not. Well, let's see. I'll do this live. Here we go. So I answered him right before showtime, people. No, idiot. I've been using allegedly since the start. Unless it's not alleged.
Now, let me add something here. There are two possibilities. Either one does have proof of someone sexually abusing children, and instead of going to the police, they expose them on YouTube while asking for money. That person would be a piece of shit. Option 2. The person does not have any proof, defames a group of people on YouTube while asking for money. That person would also be a piece of shit. So, Tony, you are indeed a piece of shit.
You simply jumped the gun with no research, like an idiot. Shaking my head. Jeez. Can any of you have any semblance of intelligence? Understand, people? Like, for example, well, anyways, we'll see it in the video. But I don't call anybody a pedophile unless they are a pedophile. If I think that they're a pedophile and there is proof and evidence that points to it, then I'll say, I think Bob Nodell is a disgusting pedophile. I think. Or Bob Nodell is an alleged pedophile. You understand that I understand the English language? Frog Prince, you fucking slut.
Wait, didn't you just have problem understanding what Sparky wrote? With your excellent grasp of the language, you shouldn't have had any trouble whatsoever. Also, do you know what slut means? Wait, now it is dawning on to me that maybe you don't understand the meanings of the word you spew?
Go do your research, bitch. And don't make me see you, slut. But just for fun, what did he answer during our stream? You see here, people, we're over 4 hours. This says 2 hours ago. Let's see what type of a reply he gave us while we were busy. So you called all those people a pedophile, and now you are claiming that you have proof, and you think you are intelligent. Well, your comments so far do prove how incredibly smart you are. P.S. This is sarcasm, in case you missed it.
Well, I was worried that you might take it as a compliment.
You see what I mean, people? Do you see what I mean?
Nope.
I mean, how can I fight this bitch when he is totally naked and unarmed and has no fucking working brain cells? You guys are going to start hating me because it's going to look like I am fucking beating on a retarded, drugged out, fucked up, messed up fool.
Well, drugged up is correct.
You see what I mean, people? All right. So let's watch this. Then I'll come back to the chat. Don't worry, people. Let's watch this hit piece on me. Hey, by the way, bitch! Fair use!
Hit piece on you? Oh, Tony, you're not that important, regardless what you think. Some strawman argument while he shows fair use. Well, Tony, I'm not a hypocrite, so you're okay.
Okay, sorry. Reshaping our world might be another bitch. I'm not sure. Hang on.
Well, he is you, except he's a flat earther and calls less people the P word than you do. Surprisingly, he seemed to have stopped using that after watching my video. You, on the other hand...
Once again, bitch, Frog Prince, stop kissing frogs, all right? I get it that you're holed up in your home, probably uglier than a fucking real troll, right? Playing your little Dungeons and Dragons, thinking that you're smarter than everybody, when in reality, everybody knows you're a fucking reject of society, okay?
Okay, 2 corrections though. Frog Prince is the one who gets kissed, and it is not Dungeon and Dragon, but Witcher 3.
and making fools like you look like even bigger fools. So this is one of those people where you don't need to go and give him any love, no fucking subs. He's a piece of shit. And I watched 2 other of his videos. Whatever he's gonna accuse me of, this motherfucker is begging for subs. Begging. One video, I just started it because he's fucking boring and I think he uses a robot voice. One video, he was saying something about, hey, I woke up this morning and I lost 1 sub. Now I know that 1 sub is not a lot, but to me it's a big thing.
Taking things out of context, why does it not surprise me? Out of over 150 videos, Tony cherry picks the one where I explain, if my religious viewpoint does offend anyone, I am sorry, but I'm not really sorry. Well, Tony, begging for sub is better than begging for money, right? One who is vulnerable to criticism regarding a certain issue should not criticize others about the same issue. Let me dumb it down. Those who live in glass houses should not throw stones.
Well, this motherfucker is gonna accuse me of the shit that he worries about. You watch. Total joke, people. Total joke. All right. Hit piece number 2. He called it slander, legality, and the P word usage in the flat earth, globe earth debate by both sides. You see, the fact that he has to fucking mention flat earth, globe earth tells me this looks like a fucking piece of shit wannabe disinfo agent. Pedophilia has nothing to do with flat earth or fucking globe earth, you motherfuckers. It has to do with good and evil. You fucking bitches, all of you.
I actually agree that child abuse has nothing to do with the shape of the earth. Now, while you scream and rage, shall we have a look at your video thumbnail? Bob Noddle and Karen B. Both are flat earthers. It is hard for me to read all the names due to the writing. As I am familiar with some of them, I could connect the dot. The names I do not know is the one I can't even guess. Brian Stavely is such a name. He is an American fantasy writer. You have Nathan Oakley, Nathan Thompson, Arwen, not to mention from your description, the most vile beings in our world, followed by 4 commas, called Flatoberfest 2020. By the way, he will soon make fun of my typo on transcript. Let's remember his grammar. In another video description, he adds Rose 777, The Truth Seeker 69. I rest my case.
Fucking whore. You think I give a fuck whether you believe the earth is flat or a globe? You fucking touch a child, I'm coming after you equally hard, you fucking sluts. Fucking assholes. Demons, man. Infested by demons. Wow.
There is no such thing as a demon. It is a man-made concept.
This is not a debunking video, but more pointing out some legality to several individuals on both sides of the debate, both flat earth and globe earth. A couple of years ago, the rage on the internet was to call anyone a Hitler when their viewpoint did not match up or align with the topic in hand. Let me backtrack a little bit. There is a saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never break me. And I am quite fond of that statement. Regardless how much I want that statement to be correct, I do think it is not completely true. Apart from a novel by my favorite author, the fool dropped his mandolin in his embarrassment.
Hey, the mandolin!
In the guild.
People, the mandolin! The guy mentioned the mandolin! We all know third party! Alex! He mentioned the mandolin! Our favorite song! The love song to Rose! The mandolin!
Tony, you're an idiot. A mandolin is a stringed musical instrument.
Hey, bitch, do you even fucking know how to read? That didn't say liar, that said lair. L-A-I-R. Learn how to fucking read. Fucking bitch. instead of talking to me that I don't know the English language.
Well, we grown-ups do understand context. When we hear the words liar, usurper and murderer, well, one of those words do not belong with the rest. As grown-ups understand, that probably should be liar, as then it would make more sense. But yes, Tony, you got me. You got me good.
Go fuck yourself, bitch. By the way, why do you use this cartoon character? Is this how you wish you looked?
Shout out to my buddy Atikin for drawing that handsome face. Yes, I do wish I looked like that.
That pretty much sums up my feeling. Now, calling someone Hitler is bad enough. That basically shows the lack of...
What? Calling someone Hitler is bad? Hey, Frog Prince! You're fucking Hitler! You bitch! Alright, let's continue. I don't know. I felt good doing it. I don't know what the fuck your problem is. Let's continue.
historical knowledge, empathy, and not understanding the atrocities that occurred during the Dark Ages. So unless...
During the Dark Ages? What the fuck? Hitler was there during the Dark Ages. Could you fucking get this story straight?
Okay, the term Dark Ages depends on the context. If talking about cosmology, this period would be roughly 150 million to 800 million years after the Big Bang. In European history, it would mean around 5th to 10th century. In art, traditionally it is referred to the period between the fall of the Roman Empire to around 14th century. While the genocide was going on, West either turned a blind eye to Hitler or did not know about the atrocity, and thus I called it Dark Ages. Does that make sense now?
Personally responsible for a mass genocide. Please stop calling people as such. Now that trend seems to have died down.
Listen, you have an Indian accent, but you talk with the type of mentality of,
Could you not figure out anything racist to say? Well, fear not. One of your moderator was more than happy to pass his 2 cents.
As it has been replaced by something much worse. And unfortunately, we see it all.
You know, a lot of the elites, the ones that are really concerned about being called pedophiles, a lot of them are...
Oh, now I get it. As Tony does not have the balls, he is implicitly calling me the P word.
all around us. Let's see a couple of examples here, shall we?
Shall we? This guy looks fucked up though, people. Honestly, like, no offense, he does look fucked up. I don't like him. His fucking face disgusts me. I mean, he does say the right things, but even me, I wouldn't put my face straight in the camera like this. And I'm not the most pretty person in the world. But fuck, this is ridiculous. Like, I mean, again. Anyways, I'm not gonna get into it. Yeah, I don't know this bitch.
So when Daniel calls Irish Demon the P word, you think he's saying the right thing. You do make it super easy. You know that?
I think it is only flat earthers. It is not. There is a global channel by a person called Tony Starna.
Yeah, I'm not called Tony Starna. Okay?
My mistake. It should have been Tony A-hole. My bad.
Some people called me Tony Starna. And therefore, to make fun of them, I took the name. Okay? You fucking researcher, you.
And a thumbnail from his recent video. Full disclosure, I did not watch that video.
Right.
And I will not.
So this bitch says it straight. He did not watch the video, and he's not going to watch the video, yet he's going to want to criticize me and call me a liar while not watching the video.
Okay, let's start with a make-believe scenario. There is a giant billboard that defames over 21 people. When taken to court, the defense is, well, my lord, if you'd zoom in with a Nikon P1000, you would see a website URL near the bottom. Once you go to that URL, after putting in your credit card and social security details, you would find an 800-page document. On page 758, you will see that my client has definitely said allegedly. In your case, well, you defame those people on your thumbnail and then in your description. Then you expect one to listen to your shouting for 3 hours 18 minutes? Sorry, defamation does not work like that. Simple common sense tells me that you're full of shit. Either you're lying about all those people, which is a crime, or you're defrauding the people who you're begging money from. That is also a crime. Oh, he didn't see my whole video. What a wuss.
Oh, now that's fucking great research. You know what? I heard about this cult. You're gonna fit in very well. It's called Mandela. You could take your logic and sanity, leave it at the door, and then you could enter and play with those fucking Mandela tards. Fucking loser.
This kind of shit is not even worth watching. I'll just read the description.
Listen, bitch. How could you say this kind of shit is not worth watching if you have no fucking idea what kind of shit it is? Do you fucking think before you talk?
Yes, I do. Why would I listen to your crap where you're lying from the very beginning? Even in this response of yours, 21 minutes so far, before me adjusting the speed and chopping off silence, you have yet to make a single point. All you have done so far is ad hom. So yes, videos like yours is not worth watching. Just to clarify, when someone critiques a video, movie, song and such, it is always understood to be an opinion. It does not have to be explicitly specified. You do have similar-minded people as yourself on your channel and more subscribers than me. Good for you.
Hey all, we will look at what this satanic, God-hating, evil scum criminal
Yes, I stand by every word. You're a little bit too low. It's the maximum I can do. Let me reread that so that everybody could understand, okay? Hey, all, we will look at what these satanic, God-hating, evil scum, criminal, heartless and soulless, demon-infested, evil, fake, YouTuber, intruders do. All right, do it with that. Do it like that next time, bitch.
Tony, you are a moron. Unlike your videos, in mine, well, my videos are hard limited to -3 decibel with 20 laughs. Now obviously one who videos in portrait mode, laughs would go over their head. Now viewers, so far I have tried to normalize Tony's recording as much as possible. Finally he will get off his ass, fix it at his end and pretend he's fixing mine. What a joke.
and soulless demon, infected, evil, fake YouTuber truthers do when they are threatened. How dare we try to save children from them? That's right, people. Mac and his evil, fake truther cult of pedos, pedo-loving, satanic witches and wizards of Flat Earth and Mandela.
Hang on, bitch. Nobody could hear you. Let me help you out. What I did say in proper English is Mac and his evil, fake, truder cults of pedos, pedo-loving, satanic witches and wizards of Flat Earth and Mandela are now very, very scared. An old enemy is rising. This is where I was wrong. I didn't know that the fucking bitch Flat Earth Vancouver, BC was nothing but another one of you trying to seek fame and fortune by trying to shame the truth. But the truth will not be shamed. The truth will not be stopped, bitch.
So you have proof for all the accusations, and instead of reporting it to the authority, you're making hours-long video. What does that make you? In legal terms, that makes you, Tony, an accessory after the fact.
Are now very, very scared. An old enemy is rising. Flattered Vancouver, BC is coming, and heads will roll. People, as I have mentioned, there are hidden demons and satanists and sold out pawns of Satans everywhere. We need to be awake to them and out them one by one and never let up till they are gone and out of their misery. Burn in hell, all of them.
Yes.
And asking for money, followed by, which demon in their cults do I go after first?
Correct.
Bob Noddle?
Here, I'll do it. You don't know how to fucking talk. Which demon in their cults do I go after first? Bob Nodal, Joshua Swift, Jason Lindgren, Rose 77, Brian Stavely, Karen B, the Truth Seeker 69 with a horse face. Sorry, I didn't have the horse face part. Let's talk what we saw at that demonic, satanic, Freemason, godless gathering of pedophiles, child molesters, child porn fans, criminal Satanist witches, drug addicts, and the most vile beings in our world. Motherfucker, what's your problem? I said the exact truth. Every one of these things attended that party. If you fucking bothered to look and listen to my videos, you would see that I provided the proof for every fucking accusation I make. You bitch.
Joshua Swift, Jason Lindgren, Rose 777, Brian Stavely, Karen B, The Truth Seeker 69, etc. Let's talk what we saw at the demonic, satanic, Freemason, godless gathering of pedophiles, child molesters, child porn fans, criminals, satanists, witches, drug addicts, and the most vile beings in our world, called Flatoberfest 2020. And since then, on YouTube, being unemployed. Yes, people, the evil motherfucker I'm fighting have lots of money and power and fighting hard to shut me up. So if you can, only if you can, I would appreciate any and all donations.
That's right.
So I can make sure my bills are paid.
Exactly.
I can concentrate every moment and second I have towards bringing them down.
Exactly. If I don't worry about my bills, I come after all you motherfuckers harder than you've ever seen it before.
Well, that is one of the reasons you guys get away with your crap. Because of your broke ass. It would cost more on legal fee than what one would get by suing your unemployed ass.
So far, I got Mac and Brian to run like bitches, Bob to cry like a bitch, and many others freaking out, not knowing where I'm gonna hit next.
Thank you so much. If you would like to support my work, truth, much appreciated. Well, if someone wants to support this crap, feel free. I'm just so sorry to be in the same group as this ass.
Wait a second, motherfucker. First you do a video like this, and now you're claiming to be in the same group as me and the pissed off. I think you got things mixed up. You're a piece of shit. What makes you think you're in our group?
You got it wrong. With you going after flat earthers, I thought you are in our group. If you're not, I'll be doing a jig.
We're the fucking bad guys, pissed off, who care about truth and children. You're not in that group. No fucking stickers. The last motherfucker who did a hit piece on me said the exact same thing like you. That I have the mouth and you got the brains. Think again.
Between Tony and Daniel, I never thought I would say it, but Daniel is less vile.
What?
While writing the script,
You said that Daniel is less vile than me.
Yes, one a-hole defames maybe 5 people, the other a-hole defames 21. Guess which one is more vile? This is math, so I will wait.
Mika, wait until you fucking piss me off. What you've heard so far is nothing, bitch.
the first thought that went through my mind was, am I being hypocritical? I do once in a while call people names. So first I had to go through my own lexicon. I don't use the word used for a female dog. Well, one reason being...
What? You don't use bitch? What, bitch is bad now? You're a bitch! What's the problem?
Well, no problem. Maybe this clip will clarify matters.
What are you so polite about?
For the same reason you're not. It's the way I was brought up.
You accept it! Lick your wounds! Move on! Bitch! I don't use the word used for a female dog. What do you call a female dog then?
Well, I call it a female dog.
Honey! What the fuck is wrong with you? If you see a female dog, you're not gonna call it a bitch. Like, if you were to walk across, one day you're walking down the street, and you see a fucking female dog rolling around in a wheelchair, you're not gonna call that slut a bitch. I wonder how many people get that one.
It sounds like I'm talking about the seaside and vice versa. I don't use the words for female genitalia and shudder when someone uses the C word.
What?
Once in a blue moon,
You shudder when people use the C word. Which one? Corona, COVID, cunt.
Well, you got it in third try. Bravo.
I may use the short version of the name Richard. Oh, how I feel so.
The short version of the name Richard. I don't get that. Stop being such a dick. Talk normal, bitch. What a fucking cunt this guy, right, people?
Out there. I do use the word freaking at times as an objective and not as a noun.
Hey, people, this motherfucker uses the word freaking. That's disgusting. I'm never using that word again. I will never say freaking again. What kind of language do you use, you fucking bitch? How dare you say freaking?
Oh, so clever. And might I add, funny?
You mostly are stupid more.
How dare you insult the stupid? What a piece of shit, people. This guy goes around calling people stupid. He has no fucking consideration for the stupid or the morons. This is terrible. I think we gotta report this bitch. He's acting like a cunt. We gotta call YouTube. Tell them to get rid of this fucking dick.
Moron, which both means the same thing. Having or showing a great lack of intelligence or common sense. I can imagine using it in anger without any reason, which is wrong. But more often than not, it is warranted and more importantly, can be proven. For example, when flat earthers say things fall because of density,
Oh,
with me.
fuck. Now he's gonna start going into the fucking flat earth and all that shit. So this is where I got two people because he's fucking boring.
Well, this is where the rant ends. That was fun. I will not be linking his video, but his comments are on my video, so you can always find it that way. Tony, this clip is just for you.
He's using facts and figures to deflect our attacks!
Tony also claims to be truth warriors of God. People like that are dangerous, as in their mind, anything they do is good and moral because of his or her sky daddy. By the way, Tony, do you know how many priests have abused young children and Vatican had covered it up? Recently, an anti-LGBT politician in Denmark who vehemently opposed homosexuality was caught in a gay orgy. The one shouting at top of their lungs, or at times, the one involved in such act. Just saying. That's all for this video. It was partially fun for me listening to this moron, but hated fixing his audio, not fun. So let me know what you think down in the comments. I do hope to see some of Tony's followers. Looking forward to Alex D and Ben N among others. If you have managed to watch it, well, thank you for that, and sorry that you had to hear all that. Have a safe day. Signing off.